Not getting suspended with Google Ads should be your #1 goal in 2024 if you want to scale your e-commerce brand massively. And in this video, I'm going to show you a strategy I'm using to basically never get suspended with Google Ads. Now, just a disclaimer, never getting suspended does not mean that you are 100% not gonna get suspended. There is still a very small chance, maybe 1%, maybe 2% of you still getting suspended despite doing everything right. That's the first thing you need to understand about the Google Merchant Center. It's just an unfortunate reality to it. And even the smallest thing, which 2 months ago may not have triggered a suspension, could end up triggering a suspension. So just keep that in mind. But to understand how to never get suspended, we need to take a step back to really understand what are the most common types of suspensions. And to do that, I have opened up here Google's official website, the Google support website. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over some of the most common reasons for warnings and account suspension. That's super important, and I want you to stick with me because this will let you know where these even stem from. Trust me, Google is not stupid. They want advertisers on their platform. They want e-commerce brands like yours running on their platform. So the majority of the reasons why starts off with things like having missing policies. Even if you do $1 million a month, there could be a policy which you forgot to just set up, and now it's a big issue with Google Ads. Or maybe there's some kind of insufficient contact information which you never added. Maybe phone number you have, it's no longer valid and you forgot to change it, or misrepresentation of the product. This is one of the biggest reasons why so many accounts get suspended: misrepresentation. Now, on a very basic fundamental level, misrepresentation essentially means that something on your website does not match what you have submitted within the backend via the Google Merchant Center. That's what a misrepresentation policy issue is, and that's where so many brands just end up getting confused. They end up getting stuck up on that violation. But in addition to that, maybe you might be suspended because of any of these other ones. Now, these ones have more to do with the Google Merchant Center directly, but things such as product disapprovals, data quality warnings, common item level issues, and so on and beyond are some of the most common reasons why your accounts can end up getting suspended. Now, in terms of the data quality warnings and just the product disapprovals, these actually even start within your Merchant Center if you do any of the things like these, where you don't provide enough information about that product, or you're writing everything in capital letters, or the image is too small, or there's text on the image. These are just very basic things which Google really implements to ensure you're a real brand. So the reality is, if you are taking care of your product feed, if you are approaching it in a professional manner, then this should not even be an issue to begin with. But the final ones that are the most important, which are like the Google Ads policy violation issues, such as circumventing systems, or counterfeit products, or malicious software, or some certain products which just are not allowed on Google. These can also potentially trigger further issues. So there's a lot of things which can even trigger a small issue and which can further lead to your account getting suspended. How do you deal with all of this, and what do you do about it? Well, first things first, you need to understand that 90% of all of these suspensions and just issues I went over, they really only happen because you are not focused on the foundation. And I began to work on this first with any brand we handle under my Google Ads agency or marketing. But let's go over exactly how do we approach this from a foundational approach, and how we do it for the brands we handle so that they potentially never get suspended. Which, by the way, if your brand does over $1 million a year in revenue and you want to scale to multi-7 figures with Google Ads, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a free call with me to see how we can essentially work together and make that happen. But the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go inside your Google Merchant Center and check the product diagnostics section. What you want to understand is, if there's any types of products which are not green, if it's orange, if it's this blue one, or if it's this red one, there's a chance there's certain issues there in the account that you're not aware of. First things first, your main job is to not only get rid of these, but to understand which part of your feed needs more information. So if you go inside the feed section, you want to first check which feed is connected to your Google Merchant Center account. And then from here, you need to understand what information is provided versus what information is not provided. So you can look through these products right here to get a further understanding on this and then see which products are missing key information. It's very crucial because this is where the errors start if you're not submitting the necessary information. But along with that, next thing is you need to go onto your landing pages and you need to look through, number one, all of your policy pages, and then number two, your contact us page. You need to ensure that there is all of the necessary information provided therein. None of it is copied. You need to ensure that everything is custom built, and the contact us page, which is part of the landing page, has more than 2 to 3 different contact touch points. So it could be a phone number, it could be a physical address, it could be an email. 3 is the sweet spot from what I've seen in my experience when it comes to not getting suspended for that side of things. But in addition to that, one of the most common reasons why the merchant center suspends products because of product feed issues or because of landing page issues is because you're not providing enough payment methods or not letting your customers know which payment methods you even accept. So it could be if you accept Visa and PayPal and so on and so forth, that should be visible within your landing pages for each of your products. That's one of the newer things we've understood that Google looks after. Now, this brings us to the back-end settings, which is the final portion of everything. You need to go within your Google Merchant Center, first of all within the product section, but then moving on to the other parts, such as even if you have any types of promos going on, or if you have any types of product reviews, which indicate that you are not a real brand, or maybe there's a lot of errors within the product review section. Or maybe if you go to the marketing section right here, just looking at the promotion section and seeing if any of your coupons are disapproved, because if you let things like these linger around for too long within the merchant center, eventually the algorithm catches up to that, and that's when suspensions start to happen. They take these things very seriously. They want to know that you are a real brand that's actively looking into these things and ensuring everything is running properly. That's essentially the only way to not get suspended. It's to portray yourself as a real brand, which you should be doing regardless if you actually are in the game long term and you are wanting to scale beyond multi 7 figures per year. Once the landing pages are relevant and they're updated, once the product feed is properly set up and there's no crazy issues in there, and then the third and most important thing, you have not tried to create multiple Google Ads accounts or Google Merchant Center accounts. Once one got suspended, it becomes very hard for you to ever even get suspended within the Google Merchant Center or within your Google Ads account. Now, don't give Google a reason to suspend your account. This is the same thing we do for the brands we're working with, which again, if you run a brand doing over $1 million a year in revenue and you want to scale to multi 7 figures with Google Ads, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and schedule a free call with me to see how we can essentially work together and make that happen. But check out a case study video right here we did on a brand which we scaled to multi 6 figures and multi 7 figures after we got their account back from suspensions using these strategies.